Welcome to Bumble Bunny's Numerology. Today, I've decided to do a video based on what the collective will experience in the month of March, going into the month of April, and how the eclipse portal and the numerology sync up to one another. That's what I'll be discussing today. We're going to talk about the eclipse portal, and we're also going to talk about how the numbers match up to the eclipse portal as well. So stay tuned. I hope you make it to the end. There's a lot of really good information. And I'm also doing this because I did a video and I got requests for readings, which happened out of this. So if you resonate with this, I am a numerologist and I offer private readings to kind of guide you through the energy. So I was like, let me do another video so people can kind of see and relate, and private readings are available. Message me. Okay, so we are almost into mid-March, and our lunar eclipse happens on Friday the 14th, and it starts an eclipse portal, which then ends, I believe, on the 28th with a partial solar eclipse. Okay, so in that period of time, this happens about every 6 months, and this is a time the universe it provides an energy during the eclipse season where it throws all these things at you. I think of the portal as like entering into a portal and you're traveling through this portal to get to another place, to a change, but there's debris and stuff that you've got to duck and dodge as you are sifting through the portal. But once that happens, then you come out the other side and it's like you took a shortcut to a new timeline for yourself. Okay. So this is what the portals offer. I'll give an example. So my daughter had a heart transplant, and another story, another day. But we were waiting. She was on the list and we were waiting. So they had told us that we might get called in and then be told we had to leave. So that happened on the first day of a lunar eclipse going into a 2-week eclipse portal. Okay. She got her heart so we went in on the day of the lunar eclipse, told to go home, and then at the end of that eclipse portal on the solar, we were called in for her heart transplant. So that's the kind of power that these eclipse portals provide to us. They bring change. They can bring a pretty intense change, especially if we're aligned with the frequency of the energy. Okay. This eclipse portal, though, is different than anything we've experienced. I don't know everything. I'm not going to go into detail, but astrology and its link up and its sync up and the numerology, I mean, it's all tools, right? So that's why they're all tools within this frequency. So that's why they all align. But right now we're in a huge transition collectively, right? Where some of us have gone through what's happening, some of us have not. And so, we all feel what's going on. We can feel the intensity of the change. And I also just want to say that change is necessary. And sometimes things have to completely be eradicated so that we can start anew. So that's a thing to keep in mind. As much as some of it is scary, some of it is just mind-blowing, some of it is just where's the justice? There's all these thoughts and feelings, right? But if we can really just realize that, it's the ebb and flow, and that everything has to get destroyed, leveled out. And then once that happens, we get to start again. So, we'll also talk about at the end, solar flash as well. All right. So, okay. So March, the month of March. So now we're in this eclipse portal, and I really feel that it's a collective. This is such an intense, it has the potential to shift an entire collective consciousness. So in past energy, which no longer exists, eclipse portals were very personal to your personal life. So maybe people around you are going through changes, but it's very personal to you, and those shifts and those changes are personal. This eclipse portal, what's going to happen is and in those moments, people are experiencing it, but if you're not aware of the energy, then you're not linked into the frequency, right? in this situation, more people are linked into the frequency of this eclipse portal energy. And so the more collective we engage in that energy, the bigger change occurs, right? The more people that are experiencing the same energy and aware of it, then has the potential and the possibility to shift a large collective of consciousness. Maybe not everybody, but here's the potential of this eclipse portal. This is big. We are in a transition in numerology. We are in a transition. We are in a year of endings and transition so that we can go into a new beginning next January. And it matches up with everything. If you hear about astrology, and there are there are things happening that something that's not, I can't remember what it is, but something that's never happened before in astrology, and it's never happened. So that, just think about that energy. So this is my interpretation of this energy and how it's going to affect us. Now, if a collective of people are experiencing the same thing at the same time, I am now going to come in and explain how the numerology can guide you through this portal. Okay. So the month of March, how do we get numerology? So we're in 2025. Our collective numerological year is a 9. We add up 2025, we get 9. Okay. So that's our collective energy, right? It's like astrology, where you have astrology affecting a collective and then you have your personal chart. This is collective numerology. Okay. So we're in a 9 year. We're all experiencing that in smaller levels, but we see it all around us in our lives and then outside of our lives as well. Government, everything. So what you do is you take the year, the 9, and you add it to the number of the month. So we're in the 3rd month, add the 9, we get the number 12. Now in numerology, we always reduce down to a single digit. However, the double digit it can create a different meaning to the number. So we're going to go specifically into 9 plus 3 is 12. We're going to talk about the number 12 because the number 12 exactly lines up to the eclipse portal. And then we will transition into April. And so I'm going to kind of explain what is the potential to happen. Okay. So the number 12 is the idea of perspective change. Reversing a perspective change, submission, like accepting what is. And then once the acceptance happens, the change of view, the change of perception happens. So in this is the thing that you're experiencing this month, because that change of view that's what the eclipse portal is taking you through. It's taking you through the idea of submitting and accepting what is happening. Stop fighting against a wall. Once you submit and accept, then what happens is it provides this change of view, this change of perspective, which is very important because it helps go into our next month, which we walk into April, into a transformation month. And we get to that, we're able to transform because of this time period where we submit and accept. We kind of sit back for a moment and take the moment and reflect, submit, accept. And then once that happens, it's almost like magical, a change of perception occurs. So I use a book as a guide to do these, right? So it says, I'm going to verbatim, it's from the book Numerology and the Divine Triangle by Faith Javane and Dusty Bunker. And Dusty Bunker is a famous numerologist. She did this book and I think maybe 3 others, I think. And her work is where I've trained myself. But the number 12, is meditate upon the fact that the miseries of the world are self-imposed, caused by negative thought processes. If your world is in disharmony, realize that your thoughts have created the problems and that a change of view is in order. This statement is on the collective. This is something that a lot of us are experiencing, that the miseries of the world are self-imposed by negative thought process. And you can think about that in your personal life, and you can think about that on a larger scale. It says if your world is in disharmony, well, this is our world and it's in disharmony. We have to be aware of where our thoughts play a part in that disharmony in the world. Your thought processes and the things that you tell yourself and the things that you think about and the frequency and the energy of that vibrates out to the rest of us. So if you realize that there's a need for a change of view, because once you have that change of view, now you will affect others with the change of view. And then what does this do? This helps create a change in consciousness. They link, they're just synced up. So like the advice for the month is the waiting period, is the meditation, is the sitting and the, meditation. Listen, thoughts are thoughts and they're going to come in. Whatever you think. To me, meditation is being in a moment of no other distractions. My eyes are closed. Sometimes I use music, sometimes I don't. And always go back to my breath, and that's the end of it. And if thoughts come in, there's no goal, just like they come in, I'm hoping to get them out and they don't stay for a while. And if I'm able to like have them come in and flow back out and not like, then I'm in that state in the now and in that meditative place, right? You could do that for 5 minutes. You could go take a walk, like not do that, not close your eyes, not where your moment is outside and maybe headphones and like chill music and you're just mindfully walking. That's another form of meditation and can help us get in touch with like who and what we are. I think that's another like, and any kind of like, as here on the East Coast, as the weather's warming up, like go somewhere, connect yourself to like the beach, to nature, go for a hike, maybe do some yoga, do these things that are like self-care and like allowing you to take that time to meditate, to slow down for that waiting period so that you can kind of really understand where you're at. And as you transition into this, the portal is going to allow you, if you accept this, the portal is going to allow you to really have a different perspective as we come out, as we get to the end, as we come out of the portal. So these are just things that you can do for yourself, even like sound healing, like all these kinds of things to help maybe transition your thought processes, or maybe it's something you've been working on for a while. This is also another thing. Collectively, it could be people are working on for a while, and this eclipse portal may throw some things, but it really transitions your whole thought process. The energy does it for you, okay? But in these moments, like if it's tough and it's difficult, relax. Do something that connects you back to the earth. Do something that connects you back to your body. Do something that connects you back to your breath, and take those moments, okay? I think that I believe that this is a part of this month, and it's huge. And like I said, there's part of us, many of us that have been working on these things and have shifted our frequency. We're just going to, as the frequencies expand, we allow ourselves to be even more expansive. And then we also, because of that, because more people are connecting to the energy that we have been the energy that we have shifted into, it allows us to also help other people, which correlates with our numerology. The 9 is also the humanitarians, endings, transitions, and the humanitarian, using your wisdom to help people. And so that's also a big part of this. So if you have a friend who's in the middle of this portal and they're having a hard time, you know what I mean? Be like, oh, you can help them. You can help them understand what they're going through. And it's like an awakening process on a collective level. Okay. So I think that is important information and very helpful as you're in this month. And as we come into the beginning of this portal, it's going to get intense. It is, because the month, that energy still exists till the end of the month in numerology. So the energy is to like understand that there could be a sacrifice in the acceptance. Okay. But this is the flow of it. The acceptance and the surrender bring a flow. Like that may be part of the portal where it's letting go of thoughts, feelings, and things that is really hard for you to let go of. And it's a difficult process for you. And so, but if you stop, it's like stop, look, and listen. Stop, look, and listen in this energy. Stop, look, and listen. It's the hangman in the tarot. He's just chilling, yo. He's in the reverse chilling. So stop, look, and listen. Right? If you start to get overwhelmed by that, and use meditation, use moments of self-reflection, use yoga even to help you process through the portal, because it's going to help bring that change for you. Things may become really difficult, and the energy wants to know in that portal, like, can you flow with this, or are you going to fight against it? How are you gonna handle it? You know what I mean? This is life. So this is life. But it has such the great potential as we come into the month of April. Okay. So this is a collective energy. All right. So as we come into April, we take the 4 and the 9, and what do we get? We get 13. Okay. 13 reduces down to 4. All right. I didn't go over the 3 in month of March. So let me go back for a moment. All right. Before we talk about April, the month of March, a 12 roots down to a 3. The 3 is about reward, abundance. It's like a pregnant woman, it's like a pregnant woman. There's a lot of abundance there. You know what I mean? A lot of like fruitful energy. Okay. That's the number 3. It's if you were in the process of like growing a plant, I kind of explain like the growing of a plant in numerology, where the 1 is putting the seed in the soil. The 2 is the seed gestating and taking in the nutrients before it begins to grow. It's 2 things coming together and in a waiting period before they grow. Gestation. And then we get to the 3, and the 3 is the single sprout of green that comes up out of the seed and pokes out of the soil. That's the number 3, birthing, right? So in this period of time with this stop, look, and listen, and this change or reversal and all of that, what it's telling you is if you're able to shift your perception, if you're able to really transform like your thought processes to a new perception, then you get this reward. You get this abundance. You get to experience growth in an abundance way from this energy. Okay. So now we come into the month of April, which is the 13, and it is the number of transformation primarily. Scorpio is related to the number 13, but it also reduces down to number 4. And number 4 is about foundation, structure, earth. It's very earthly. Okay. But the 13 is dominant here, and its main idea is change, release, and transformation. So you come out of this month with this change of perspective because you stopped, looked, and listened, and it's happening on a collective level. So as you come out of that portal, you're coming out of the portal and you're going to enter into April just a little bit after. Everybody is. So you're going to come out of that portal with a different sense, with a different scene. Life's going to feel and look different for a lot of people, a collective of people. So what happens in that process? We transform. That's what happens. Everything transforms. The energy transforms. Expect the changes that will bring an end to conditions that no longer serve a useful purpose in your evolutionary scheme. So all of the things that once were, as we come into April, transform into something completely different. Any rigid thought patterns will be destroyed. Opens the door for progress. Okay? Change, in this book, I'm quoting this book, change is the basis of earthly manifestation. right? The only thing we can rely on is change here. So listen though, I'm going to read again. Upon the wave of change, you will sail to a new fertile land where a fresh lifestyle is possible. Release from the past is followed by a renewal, which brings changes that promote growth. I'm going to read that again because this is collective. This is people experiencing this all at the same time after coming out of a portal of perception change and being able to really dive into who and what we are, which brings this collective shift. Release from the past. Maybe I said that in the portal. I'm having a hard time letting go of things that need to go. And the portal gives us the opportunity to work at letting those things go. Meditating on that fact, stopping, looking, and listening as we're trying to let go. And then as we do, we come out of the portal in a new energy and a new frequency because we let go. And as we come into April, the release from the past is followed by a renewal, which brings changes that promote growth. Growth in you, growth in our collective. It is time. It has been happening. It has been a slow burn. It really has been. It's been shifting and changing for a long period of time. But as soon as we shifted into this new year, it was like there was a wheel, wheels on waterfalls, and it's just like dripping, 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 dripping. And at the beginning of the year, the water came in and the wheel was like flowing. And that's where we're at. So, for some of us, we know the experience, so we're able to kind of flow through it a little bit easier because we've been through these processes. But I think we're all going to experience more of a process. But those of us who are aware, going through the portal, it's going to be it's not going to be as difficult, but please help the people that you are aware are going through that process so that we as a collective can come into this transformation of April. It's just the forces of the cycle of nature. The old is replaced by the new in the month of April. Okay. And this is a collective consciousness. I'm not talking about political shit. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about a collective consciousness here. This is what I'm talking about. I'm in line with that frequency of information. And I just felt it was important to share it. So this is what this portal, it's so powerful. I'm like, it's really powerful. I'm excited about it. And so there's been also talk about a solar flare that, there's been many, we've been having many, but there may be a build up to one that's a little bit more intense than anything we've experienced. And if I think about this, if we shift our collective consciousness, like in a big way, then when that flare happens, it's almost like an earth reset. This is my opinion. Like, this is just my intuitive feeling. You don't have to agree with me. But like, if we are in this, like, this expanded, like, evolution of consciousness, then when the flare happens, we're able to survive it differently. And it's like resetting the earth. And since we're reset, everything kind of resets, everything like aligns energetically. So that's how I see it. I really do. I've heard a lot of information here, there, everywhere, but that's kind of like my own feeling about it. So, and more of if there's an expanded collective consciousness, then that also means we're also going to experience the energy of our cosmos. We're all in that frequency together, and which also has, it affects the whole Earth's magnetic energy. So it's very, very wild and very exciting, and we'll see what happens. And I hope that this was helpful. I also want to say in April that, it is a reconstruction period. Okay. New, fresh things, new people, stimulating conditions. Like I'm telling you, everything changes. It transforms. But the help in that is to remember that's what's happening. And it all has to go back to the let go. It always goes back to this acceptance, submitting, and let go. Like, it all comes back to that in the long run for us to stay in our moment. You know what I'm saying? So in the month of April, there will be the opportunity to link into that transformation. And being linked into it will also help you, like, have a better knowing of which way you're traveling as well. Which way in your personal life. Collectively, personal though, each person is going to experience, I really think, in the month of April, a transformation period of, like, understanding that, like, what path is best and knowing it, not questioning it, but knowing it. I also think is a big part of this eclipse portal and this numerology. So happy eclipse portal. I hope this was helpful. I hope that it kind of brought an idea. Again, please, for those of us who know this energy and have experienced it in different ways, please, there are anybody around you, friends, family, kind of going through that transition and you recognize it, just experience your wisdom and experience what you've experienced and how you handled it and how you went through it. Like I said, like way back in the beginning, the heart, right? That's the idea of the eclipse portal. You don't get any more, like, synced up than that. And it's the best explanation I can have that I've experienced. And I've had other experiences where not as major. I had another eclipse portal experience where I lost a very close friend, just because we were out of alignment and it was time to move on. And, but it happened in that eclipse portal. Crazy shit went down. Some really wild stuff. But the energy was just shifting it because we weren't aligned at the time. So, you know what I mean? That's also how it can happen. So it could be personal relationships. It could be work. It could be all kinds of things. So, if you have any questions, message me, comment. Like I said, like, I'm available for personal readings. So if that's something you're also interested, please message me. Happy eclipse, everybody. See you soon.